Okay, so I'm at where the first mistake is, and there's that knit stitch in where I was supposed to purl. Again, not noticeable that much. If you let it go, fine. If you want to fix it, you can fix it. Alright, so if you're nervous about it, you can get one of those locking stitch markers and lock the stitch below so that it doesn't unravel further. However, I don't do that because once you know this trick, it doesn't matter how many stitches you drop because you'll be able to fix them. Okay, so this entire vertical row is supposed to be purls. So I'm going to slip that off and I'm just going to let it unravel. Sometimes I pull it a little. Alright, and there is the stitch that is a knit that is supposed to be a purl. So I'm going to undo it. And then for a purl stitch, you're going to have the ladder, which is this, come in front of the stitch. And then you're going to go into the stitch. And you could do this with your knitting needle, or I'll show you with the crochet hook. So I've got that in, and I'm just going to swoop and grab that ladder and pull it through. Okay, so I'm at where the first mistake is, and there's that knit stitch in where I was supposed to purl. Again, not noticeable that much. If you let it go, fine. If you want to fix it, you can fix it. Alright, so if you're nervous about it, you can get one of those locking stitch markers and lock the stitch below so that it doesn't unravel further. However, I don't do that because once you know this trick, it doesn't matter how many stitches you drop because you'll be able to fix them. Okay, so this entire vertical row is supposed to be purls. So I'm going to slip that off and I'm just going to let it unravel. Sometimes I pull it a little. Alright, and there is the stitch that is a knit that is supposed to be a purl. So I'm going to undo it. And then for a purl stitch, you're going to have the ladder, which is this, come in front of the stitch. And then you're going to go into the stitch. And you could do this with your knitting needle, or I'll show you with the crochet hook. So I've got that in, and I'm just going to swoop and grab that ladder and pull it through. Of course, like with the needle, it's not terribly easy. And I got the yarn all splitty. So, alright, let's just show you with the hook then. If you have a crochet hook, I have one of these little fixie doohickeys that has a crochet hook on one end and a knitting needle on the other. You don't need this fancy thing. You could just get a crochet hook. It's fine. Again, so the ladder goes in front. You go through the back of the stitch that you're fixing. Grab the yarn of the ladder and you pull it through the loop. Okay, so you see now that I've made a knit stitch. So again, we're going to fix the rest of the row because we've undone it, but remember that they were all purls. So the loop goes in the back, you go through the back, and you pull the ladder through. Make a stitch. This yarn is crazy splitty. But there you go. Again, and back. Grab the loop. Grab the loop. grab the loop. And then you put that back on your needle. Remember that you want the legs of your needle to be like this, like the front one is slightly more forward than the back one. So I fixed that entire row of knits, purls. I'm gonna keep going, and then I reach this spot where this entire vertical row was supposed to be knits. So again, I'm gonna drop it off, let the ladder fall down. Here is the purl stitch I don't want. I'm gonna undo that. Just pull the ladder out through. Okay, and now because this is a knit stitch, I want it in front and the ladder in back, and I'm going to pull that through. And see, I've made a knit stitch right there. And I'm going to continue doing that. As you can see, it's a little bit easier doing purl than knit. Okay, so I've reached the last knit stitch and I put it on. Back on the needle. And again, the leg slightly forward on the front. Okay, here I've got a mistake where there's a knit, or there should be a purl right there. Going to drop the ladder. Here's the mistake stitch. Because I'm going from a purl to a knit, I'm going to from a knit to a purl. I want the okay, so the way I want to fix this is, here is the stitch, and because I'm turning it into a purl, I want to go and have the yarn ladder in front, and I want to go through the back of the stitch and pick up that ladder. And then I'm going to grab the ladder. Yeah, this splitty yarn is the pits. And pull it through. Okay, ladder in front. Go through the stitch from the back. Grab the ladder. Pull it through. Ladder in front. Through the back of the stitch. Grab the ladder. Pull it through. Ladder in front of the stitch. In through the back. Grab the ladder. Ladder in front of the stitch. Through the back of the loop. Pull the ladder through. Place it back on the needle. And purl it. And you can't even tell that that was undone. It's just a vertical row of purl stitches. And the last mistake, here I have my purl where I should have knit. I'm going to drop it off. Down, here's my mistake. Pop that off. And for knit, I'm going to have the stitch in front and the ladder in back. I'm going to go in through the front of the stitch and just pull that through. And this is a much quicker fix than fixing purls, in my opinion. But you're already in the front of the stitch, so you just keep pulling through And there you go. Back on there. Can't even tell. And you just keep knitting.